Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and the idea is a how daily, as we juggle all the challenges in our perfect storm, tools, ideas, and frameworks that you can use practically on your own or with your colleagues to make a difference. And today I have a treat for you. You know how sometimes you're trying to formulate what the future should look like and you have to try and line other people up and it's really hard? Well, it's not really hard because I'm going to share with you the 2020 people engagement tool. And that's going to make life really easy for you. So let's have a look on Cube so I can share stuff with you. Thanks, Calvin. Brilliant. So as you know, the sun is always shining on Cube. So let's make a start. This is a pet. You know what a pet is if you've been listening to me, a people engagement tool. And the one I'm working on today is called 2020. So why do you need it? Has it ever happened to you that you've known something must be done, but you're sort of unable to fully clarify it for yourself? I'll tell you a practical one. I often do keynotes and I'll come in after the CEO or the CFO, and I'm not being rude to them, but they'll turn up and they'll turn up with a spreadsheet and graphs, and they present that as a vision. It's really not a vision. If you're lost in the forest, it's all foggy and scary and there are animals going, etc. Somebody showing you a spreadsheet doesn't lift your spirits. It doesn't tell you where to go. And also, if the thing is that unclear, together we have to build the picture. So we have a common picture in our minds. Otherwise, you have to give me daily instructions of where you would like me to go. So sometimes you're all stuck in the fog. Sometimes you've worked it out. You've got your own vision of what you're trying to do. And you're standing here at the top of this ladder, but the problem is, how do you communicate it to everyone else? And so we need this particular PET 2020 because sometimes you haven't worked the vision out for yourself, because sometimes people work best when they work in a aligned way and they have a common vision, because if the goal is not nearby, people have to make some of the stuff up, and so they have to bridge that gap, and also because it's very difficult to align with people in the future. So those are the things. So what is it? Basically, it's one of two things. It's either a way where you share your vision with someone else so they can grow it, or it's something where together you discuss what your vision should be and you align a vision. And you can use it in both situations. You can use it for yourself, working with others, or like all my pets, each of you can do it, and then you can share it, and then you get a common understanding. So 2020 is relatively straightforward. It has a here. The here is about what's happening right now, the situation as things are. Then put a little sticky note so you can see where we are, okay? And the there is where you'd like to get to. And basically, it just helps you transform your very vague thoughts and your spreadsheets into a vision. A vision is something you can see. So therefore, what I often encourage you to do is take the blank sheet and then draw images. You're only allowed to put words in the speech bubbles. So, for example, if you're using a metaphor, it's like a truck with very small wheels. You might draw in this half a truck with very small wheels, and then you might start to work your way up and try to get to that. But when you're talking about the people and the future, I want you to do what many of you who understand how persuasion and NLP work. I want you to describe what people are saying, thinking, feeling, and doing, so that when you share the vision, you're using words, but it's easy for people to visualize and build an understanding of what's going on. So especially if you've got pictures and metaphors, you describe those and then you talk about what people will be doing. So that's the idea behind the 2020 vision. When do you use it? Use it whenever what you're doing isn't completely clear to you, to other people, when it's far in the distance, so there's a long process to go through, when you're hoping that people will do the right things, not because you're giving them instructions, because they know where you're going. That's when it really comes into its own. So how do you use it? I produced a little example here. So I haven't put the images in, so I'm going to describe the images when I get to that point. So when you're preparing this, and I'll put a little sticky so I could move it around and it's easier for you to see where I am. Okay, when you're preparing this, what you want to do is you want to work your way systematically through your diagram, filling in different bits, the different elements. On the why change, you want to have a story about why should we change. You might want to write it here, you know, what's not working, what could we do better, and so on. That might go here. Then you might want to talk about what to change in terms of hard things. You know, we need to put some new equipment on, take out our current thing, build an AI network. I don't know what it is. Then you need to move to what to change to, so that people have a clarity of what's going on there. And then you need to move to who has to change. And there are three people: the people currently involved, probably you, the ones who will be involved in the future, and the people who you need to enable. So have a think about those three groups. So my example here would be, it's the end of 2026, okay? Where are we now? I would like you to imagine that at the end of 2026, what I see around me is people who have real confidence and they are steaming ahead of everyone else. And what's happened is they are thinking to themselves, I listened to 300 of Eddie's pets this year, and they were really useful and we can use them widely. They're saying things like, I learned lots of things which can actually help me. They're saying things like, I feel confident to make the change. So that's what the future looks like. They're feeling and doing and saying certain things. And that's because there is, when you look on the channel or you look on StreamYard, there are 300 of these very short sessions I've done. Where are we now? Well, where we are at the moment is Kelvin's probably thinking to himself over here, yeah, another crazy idea from Eddie. And he's saying to me, sounds like a great idea, Eddie. Okay. But you're probably thinking, well, 2026 is going to be lit. So what am I going to do? I wish I had better tools. So this is where we are now. But we're going to end up in this wonderful place over here. And the way we're going to do it is by you helping me to build this future together. There's an example here to the right you can look at later, which actually will help you think about, how you verbalize your own vision. So that's 2020. It's a way of going from something which is quite nebulous and moving that into a story you can tell, where you say, I would like you to imagine, and then you describe the artifacts. Then you describe what people are thinking and doing. Then you choose a stakeholder group, and then that stakeholder group you move through. Okay, well, we're going to stop at that point. Thank you for listening. I hope you can help this. So think about 2026, what you would like to do, and make it happen. That's great. Thanks.